Hey, what's up? It's Zoe from Low Expectations, and this is my short dungeon guide to Mythic Necrotic Wake in Shadowlands. I'll be going through each boss in detail, and we're going to look at some of the dangerous packs. So let's get going. Necrotic Wake is a 4-boss dungeon in Bastion at the midwest side of the map. The 4 bosses in order are Blightborne, Armarth the Harvester, Surgeon Stitchflesh, and Nalthor the Rimebinder. When you enter, you are placed into a large open boss room with packs of mobs which you need to clear out to give you room to move during the boss fight. Blightborne stands at the back wall of the room straight in front of you. The packs have adds that leap around and give a nasty stacking magic debuff which needs to be dispelled when it ramps too high. It will bounce to another player when it's dispelled and the stacks will reset. The first fight relies heavily on your ability to kite and CC maggots that the boss periodically spews out at a targeted player. If you're chosen for the frontal, make sure you aim it away from your group to give them plenty of distance between them and the adds. When these adds reach you, they will do Blood Gorge. This is a nasty bite that increases their damage for every successive bite. After 3 hits, the mob explodes, which essentially will wipe the group. It is imperative you do not get bitten by these maggots. To ease the mechanic, slow, stun and root these adds and focus them down. Once they die, they leave behind a circle, don't stand in it. The boss also does a move called Fetid Gas. The tank just needs to move the boss out of the fart cloud. This boss is fairly simple, but if done incorrectly can be very punishing. We made Blightborne vomit into a wall so the maggots were nicely stacked for a quick kill. On higher keys, this fight may drag on, so you may need to be very conservative with your space. Once you've done Blightborne, proceed up the stairs to some tricky packs. These packs require a lot of kicks and stuns, otherwise the damage can ramp up quite heavily. Those who have taken the Kyrian Covenant have the ability to repair one of the 2 malfunctioning Goliaths found inside the Necrotic Wake, using their Summoned Steward ability. This should give you the option to click, can you reactivate the Goliath? There is 1 Goliath in the first boss room at the right side, and the second one is just after the bridge on the way to the second boss. The second boss, Armarth, sits in a huge boss room up the stairs and rides a giant dead wyvern. He summons a group of adds which need to be focused down as soon as possible. 2 warriors, 2 mages and 2 crossbowmen. Make sure you kick the mage's frostbolt volley and try and group up all the adds because they need to die before final harvest. If the mobs are alive during final harvest, you are unable to avoid the large burst of damage. If they are dead, the damage is localized around the mob's corpses. Make sure you soothe Unholy Frenzy if you can, it will alleviate healing demand. After a short while, Armarth will cast Necrotic Breath, which is where he breathes and turns in a circle. If you're hit, you'll have a healing debuff, so make sure you dodge it. You'll repeat this pattern until he's killed. This boss's abilities hurt quite a lot, so make sure you get those adds down before your healer runs out of on-demand healing. Click the Valkyr to flap to the next boss. There will be mandatory packs before the boss, but they're fairly benign. Surgeon Stitchflesh is engaged by aiming the Abomination's meat hook at the boss up on the stage. You can see when you're targeted with the hook because you'll have a red arrow over your head and a circle around your character. Just tank the creation fairly near the stage, stand between the creation and the boss, and wait for him to start his cast. Make sure to move out of the way of the hook so the hook actually hits the boss. You know it's safe to move when the arrow no longer moves and the mob starts casting meat hook. It is fairly important you get this right first try. Luckily, I boss it in this video. Once the boss is down, kill off their creation and blast the boss. New creations will spawn and the old one's damage starts ramping up, so don't fall behind. The creation will continue to cast meat hook. Aim this through the boss to ensure that nobody gets grabbed. Surgeon Stitchflesh does a fixate, don't let him get to you if he's targeting you. He will jump back up to his stage and you just repeat these steps till he's down. After Surgeon Stitchflesh is dead, click the portal in the centre to go to the last boss. Nalthor is quite an interesting fight. It starts with Nalthor putting a root on the player which has a huge area of effect. Make sure everyone is out of your circle before you're dispelled, or you remove the root yourself. This must be removed before the next mechanic. Nalthor will summon a storm on each player which requires you to keep moving as swirls are left behind you. This happens quite rapidly. Do not stand still, otherwise you'll take these directly to your face and probably die. Run in a line or in a circle. Run anywhere but over your mates. Make sure you DPS down his shield. It's called Icebound Aegis. It does ramping damage to the group. After a short while, Nalthor will select a DPS in your own group to kidnap. He puts them on a walkway with various storms and blizzards they need to avoid as they make their way to the end. At the end is an ad. You need to kill this ad in reasonable time and be flown back to the boss. Once you return, move to a corner of the room to place your Frigid Cold patch to save space in the boss room. The longer you take in exile, the bigger your Frigid Cold patch will be. This is one huge patch because Shmilly is slow as f***. Well done, you completed Necrotic Wake. This guide was made during beta, so the bosses and trash are subject to change. If there's any changes you notice, please just let me know in the comments. I certainly enjoyed this dungeon despite the numerous wipes, so I hope you do too. Thank you for watching my guide, and be sure to like and share it, it really helps us out. You can find me at Twitch at 411 Games. I stream most evenings, so don't be shy to pop in and chat. If you'd like to see my other dungeon guides, there's a link on screen. I'll be making new dungeon guides each week, so if you think you'd like to be notified for the next one, do subscribe. Take care everyone, see you next time.